Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
Yo.
What's going on?
Not much. Ready to do some crossovers.
Oh, yeah. We got decent questions this week. Not going to hate.
There's no sports on tonight, so it's weird.
I'm enjoying that break, you know? I'm enjoying the break.
It's been a stressful couple weeks with all these trades, and our teams are like completely different. And
I need this break. I really do. I need the break from watching the games, too. Like, now I have 3 to 6 hours extra every day.
You're just like staring at the walls. Christina's like, Chris, what are you doing?
And Sundays are free now. I mean, it's different. Okay, mail days. Do you have a mail day?
I do. It's not my card, but I have a mail day.
Well, whose card is it? Sammy's?
No.
Oh, flex on him.
Mr. Larry Fitzgerald.
For the audio? Yeah, Josh, can you say what card this is?
Yeah. That's a 2020 National Treasures and a Shield. Larry Fitzgerald, 1 of 1. And this one is game worn.
Wow. I know.
And then the game worn obviously means quite a bit more in the NFL Shield versions, over the NBA counterparts, much less games.
For sure. Man, what a card.
It's pretty slick, too. It's got some decent hull foil. Like the blue around the Shield has hull foil, and I like this card a lot, actually.
What do you think about that, Stiff? The Patch Master? Oh, Amit is loving that card. Yeah, Amit, that's right up your alley, dude. Let's go. What a card. Damn, just the color. That red is nice, too.
You got anything?
Yeah, I got one.
Optic gold. Jokic?
Yep. No, it is an optic gold. It's not
Oh,
Jokic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an optic gold Luka from the rookies insert set optic. So, numbered 1 of 10, that means it was the first off the sheet, so huge premium. We call this the Alpha. And
so this is the only insert set with a gold from Optic that year?
That's not autographed.
Oh, right.
Yep. That is right. So, yeah, basically, if I pull this up in my card ladder collection, quickly, I can show you. Well, actually, I need to go to it from Showcase. I can show you this. So, basically, what I did was I put together every non-autographed gold of Luka's from his rookie year from both Prism and Optic. That's pretty. I mean, it's really just kind of like made up completely, but it still feels complete. So we have this, the newest added, then the Optic gold base, then the Prism insert gold, luck of the lottery, and then the Prism base.
Damn. It's nice that you can show off the Showcase publicly so that you don't have to show the prices and stuff, the profit and all that. Exactly. That's cool. I never thought of that.
Well, it was by necessity because I have my luck of the lotteries because I'm trying to do that whole set. So I have those in a different folder, so I can't put them all on one screen. But I can if I do it through Showcase.
Some fancy search term magic over there.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Some Boolean wizardry. Nice. Christine, do you have any cards? Your PC player comes back next week. No? She does. She got a package like every day. But she's being shy with her cards today. No? Yeah, okay. All
She's
right.
like middle fingering you right now?
No. She's saving the spice for when we do this draft.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting over here admiring Hoj's collection of Luca Gold.
Thank you.
That he's telling people, like, look at my Luca Golds.
Look, it wasn't easy, and I appreciate that recognition.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
One of my favorite things about card collecting is that you can just do stuff by yourself. You don't even need help.
Right.
It's like your own collection, It's like you personally.
It's your own journey. Choose your own adventure.
You don't need someone else to ever buy a card or or have go halvesies with you or anything.
No.
Or pay the rent so that you could buy a card,
I mean, hypothetically, it's possible.
Huh.
But
we choose not to execute on that.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Oh my god, I hate you both.
All right, let's go. Card letter.
How are we doing that draft? There's 3 of us and there's 10 picks. How's that going to work?
One guy's getting left out.
Oh!
The guy who gets left out goes to Stiff.
John Moran.
Let's go. Yeah, shout out to 504 person. Okay, all right. So, card letter announcements, Christina? No? Josh?
No.
Yeah?
No.
No. Okay, all right. NBA. Okay, shout out to the Hobby Stadium in the Philippines. Let's just say one thing real quickly about that. Some of the collectors I idolize the most all got together and opened up a hobby shop that has a restaurant and a vault and a bar. These guys are just living the dream, and I might have to get on a plane.
Yes.
So is it just me or do those guys do it better than we do? Like we show up and turn it into some investor flipping camera thing, and they actually have all the stuff we want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So check out Hobby Stadium on Instagram. They had a grand opening. I think it was today. All right. And they'll be hosting Lamine James soon. So. I don't know if they know what they're in for. All right. Brax Ball Cards usually closes the show, but he's going to open the show this week. Brax Ball Card says, just want to send you positive vibes for a good show tonight, boys. May all your questions be top-notch. May all your responses be either thought-provoking or laugh-inducing. May the chat bring the fire. May all your pizzas be pineapple-free and from New Haven. It's crossover night, baby, and you know what that means. Anything can happen. Let's go. All right. Thank you, Brax.
That reminds me of an announcement.
Let's go.
Well, you were on Brett's show this week. Stacking Slabs. Great episode.
Shout out, Brett.
I'll let you figure out why that reminded me of it.
Correlation there.
But I thought it was a great episode, so go check it out.
Yeah, check it out, man. Stacking Slabs. He puts out good stuff every week. Twice a week, in fact, with great consistency. All right, let's get to the draft.
Yes.
Kenny Cards says, can you do the all-star draft, but instead of drafting for skill, draft for hobby relevancy? And I'm going to amend this if you guys are okay with it. We're not going to draft for hobby relevancy. We're going to draft for the players whose cards we would want to collect.
There you go.
Can we do that?
That's something. It's kind of the same thing.
Okay. All right. And I should have been a little more prepared and gotten this list ready. NBA All-Star starters. Need a nice little list here. And I need a random. Christine, can you pull up a randomizer? Can you go to randomizer.org? We'll do a snake draft, but we need to figure out the order. Okay, and I have a list. So while she pulls up the randomizer and puts our 3 names into it, here are the starters from which we will be choosing. LeBron, Giannis, Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie, Luka, Jokic, Embiid, John Morant, and Lauri Markkanen.
How do I just do random now?
Lauri Markkanen. Can we choose the guys that they're replacing instead?
Yeah, maybe we should go with the actual voted in starters.
Or let's leave Embiid over Williamson.
Embiid over Williamson?
And then put Durant and Curry over.
Embiid goes over. Okay, so you're saying
No, I don't want to make it too confusing. Whatever you think.
let's just go with let's go how it was voted.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes. So scratch Embiid, scratch Morant, scratch Lowry. Go with Durant, Curry, and Zion.
Because we don't need them to be actually playing. We're going off of the starters.
Exactly. Did you figure it out? Okay. So Christina has a randomizer pulled up, and Josh, you pick how many times she randomizes it.
6.
6, of
1,
course. All right, yeah, go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And what is the order?
Josh, Christina, Chris.
Nice.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean, dang it? You don't like being 1 and 6?
I would have got the same pick first if I went 1, 2, or 3. You two goobuses are taking Luka and Jokic anyways, so I could have just nabbed them with 3.
Right. That is true. So, sucks
Well,
to be you.
Then maybe you want to chance it and try and go 4.
Try to get him 6th.
Oh, shit. Oh, that'd
All right.
be over the top. All right, Josh, you have the first pick.
Pull up the list again.
Yep. So the list is LeBron, Giannis, Tatum, Mitchell, Kyrie, Luka, Jokic, the Joker, Kevin Durant, Curry, Zion.
All right, so I want to play this strategically and not take LeBron, but I feel like someone's going to chop this up and use it against me if I don't. Like someone's going to make some content around, look at this guy, so I'll take LeBron.
Yeah, you had to, because if you didn't take LeBron first, yeah, you would have to wait until he was 6th. All right.
Luka.
Christina with the nail biter takes Luka, and that's perfect because I will take Jokic, and I have the next pick as well. I am really drafted in prime position here. So for the next pick, I'll take Curry. Christina?
We're going with who I want to collect or how
Yeah.
relevant?
Who you want to collect?
I'm going to go with Giannis.
Okay, Christina can take Giannis. And Josh, that means you have left Tatum, Mitchell, Kyrie, Durant, and Zion.
I'm going to go KD.
Yep, and then you have another pick. That's right.
Then I'm going to go
Oh, this is tough.
Tatum.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, Christina, you can choose from Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie, and Zion. Pickings are getting slim.
I'm going Kyrie because neither of you want him, so I'll take it.
Wow.
I don't want Zion. He's always injured. And who was the other one? Donovan Mitchell? No.
Oh, man, so now I have to decide.
Zion or Mitchell?
Donovan Mitchell or Zion? I really like to show some solidarity to the big bone boys, but I think I'm going with Mitchell. I'm going with Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. And that means stiff. Stiff, you get Zion. All right. So let's just do a quick review of this here and maybe explain your pick. So, Josh, you took LeBron first. That really doesn't need much explanation. You want to say anything about taking LeBron first?
No. He's the only one on that list that I actually do collect, so.
Right. Christina, you took Luka, pretty much the same situation.
Yeah, I just want to say that if Josh hadn't taken LeBron, I was going to take him and then make Chris do a pick of Jokic and Luka.
Oh!
Like, which one would he pick first?
Oh,
That's assuming I didn't take one of those two. That's assuming I didn't take one of those two.
That's choosing between children.
I just wanted to annoy both.
I could have taken Luka to annoy both of you.
You could have.
Yeah, but then Cage would have made a reel about it. There he
That's
is.
what I'm saying. If I would have picked anyone but LeBron, someone would have made a reel about how his teammates aren't better or some crap.
All right. I took Jokic, no explanation needed. I took Curry. This one needs a little explanation because I'm not happy with this pick. I wanted to pick I thought we were gonna go with the other I was prepared to take Embiid because I just like how Embiid is a market that's not hyped up at all. And after what's been happening over 2022 and 2021 and Mahomes gold vinyls are dropping from $360,000 to $120,000 when he has the picturesque perfect season, and how unjust that is to true collectors who just paid market price and still got slaughtered when they just believed in the guy. It makes me really want to go into markets like Embiid's, where it's I know this market isn't being inflated by investors, and then they're just going to drop off and buy and sell stuff all the time. And Curry doesn't really match that approach, honestly. So, but I'll still say for Curry, I think Curry's market has corrected so much over the last 6 months to a year that, maybe the pain is mostly gone. All right, Christina, you took Giannis with the 5th selection. What was the thinking there?
I didn't like anyone else on the list.
Good enough. Good enough.
He makes those dad joke videos that I find funny because I have that childish sense of humor.
You do. Accurate.
Which you enjoy because you make dad jokes, so stop.
I enjoy those.
But he has a good story.
Yeah.
Plus he collects zone cards, so there's always the chance you could sell them to him if he, because I don't go after the autograph ones, so he wouldn't be able to keep those.
Right.
So he would have to buy the non-auto.
But what do you think about his PER?
I don't even watch him play.
All right. Good. That's good, Christina. All right. Josh took Kevin Durant. What do you want to say about this pick?
Man, this one's probably pretty obvious too. He's on the Suns. I think could you say he's the best Suns player of all time?
Charles Barkley?
I think KD will probably end up higher on the all-time rankings than Charles Barkley.
But will his Suns years be better than Barkley's Suns years?
Yeah, I hope so.
Barkley did win an MVP and take them to the finals.
Not good enough.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying, let's let KD win an MVP on the Suns and take them to the finals before we say.
The question is really asking though, who's the best player to ever wear a Suns uniform, regardless of when they wore it.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, if Jordan comes back out of retirement now and wears a fucking Cleveland jersey, well, no, because they'll have all the LeBron people being like, no, he's still not.
Right.
But he wears a fucking Charlotte Hornets jersey. Is he the best? Come on.
Yes. But I get your point, but you get the point too now. Anything? All right, so Durant, is that your son's fandom speaking? Or would you have taken him there anyway?
I feel like I'm trying to will myself into actually starting a PC of Kevin Durant. This is step one is pretending that I do it for this exercise, see how it feels.
Fair. And how does it feel?
I like what you said on Brett's podcast about the trades, and you said you thought that Suns fans and Mavs fans are probably gonna wait, and that's what you would do. I'm still in that same boat. It's like when you aren't sure you want to buy something, and you leave it in your Amazon cart for a week, and you just see how it feels, and then if you don't want it after the week, if you still want it after the week, then you buy it. It kind of feels like that.
How often do you actually buy it after the week has passed?
Almost never. Either I don't need it anymore, or I came across it in stores or something and bought it.
Yep. Okay, and then you took Tatum with your final pick.
Oh, I just didn't like. I didn't like any of the other options.
It was a process of elimination.
Plus, I like having wings for this exercise. I don't know why. He was the best wing left, I guess.
You did take 3 wings. So you ended up LeBron, Durant, and Tatum. And then Christina, you took Kyrie, which rounded out your list of Luka, Giannis, and Kyrie. Why did you take Kyrie? Because he plays here now?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Josh's reasoning for KD. Like, he's on the Mavs now. Obviously, with my second pick, I didn't like anyone else on the list. So my third pick, I still wasn't liking anyone on the list. So I just decided to go with the other Maverick.
Got it. All right. And then my final pick was Donovan Mitchell. And you know what influenced me a lot was he had one of his best games of the season here across the street. And it was really annoying to watch, but then I respected it after it was over. And then Stiff took Zion. So Stiff, if you want to come up with your explanation for Zion and put it in the chat, you know.
Okay, so I have Luka, Giannis, and Kyrie.
That's right.
You have
Jokic, Curry, Donovan Mitchell.
And Josh has LeBron, KD, and Tatum.
Yep, Tatum.
Who wins on that 3-on-3?
That would be such a great tournament. I'd watch the hell out of it.
Like,
we win.
We all win? Because we get to watch it?
Yeah.
Dude, I would just.
I think that might solve the All-Star game. Like,
yeah.
Stop making it 5-on-5. Because, like, make it 3-on-3. Make them, like, have to play a little more.
I think they need real stakes, though. Like, put, like, $3 million on the line. Or, like, make them bet on it or something. Or donate to charity $1 million, something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things, though, is that, like, none of the players want to fix the All-Star week. Like, they don't even want to do it, you know? Like, it's just I don't know if it's a fixable problem.
Well, yeah. So like Chris and I were thinking about going to the All-Star weekend, and we were like, the two people who would want to go see play are Luka and Jokic, and neither of them care about the game. So they're gonna play for like 5 minutes, maybe.
They're so bad in All-Star games.
And then they're just gonna like stand there, like eat popcorn on the fucking bench, like Luka does every year. So at that point, it's like, why even go? Why even bother?
Yep.
Yeah. LeBron tries a little bit because he's a captain, and he's like, I think he's 6-0 now or whatever, so he maybe feels like he has to keep that going. But yeah, I don't love watching those games.
No.
What if, I mean, this would be kind of crazy, and they'd be stupid to agree to it, but what if it was WNBA versus NBA, and it would be a massacre, but maybe they would actually like show up because the girls would give a lot and the boys wouldn't care at all.
All right, so Christina's idea that she has thrown into the hat
is battle of the sexes.
Is WNBA versus NBA.
Yeah.
So Adam Silver's email address, I think, can be found on the NBA.com website. You should.
I'm emailing him.
Mark Cuban reads Twitter messages as well.
Well, he's getting a tweet.
All right. I can't believe you just gave away that great idea for free. All right, let's go. Next question. Stack and Kabooms, hell no. Okay, he said Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is not happening. Okay. I will be very upset if that happens also. Ben XC Runner, Ben Cross Country Runner 1 says, why is it that I cannot bat an eye and shell out $200 for a card, but when it comes to actual life essentials like eggs, I get pissed that they are now $6. This is somewhat a joke, but I know those listening must feel this at home. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was joking about this with my wife. I bought some, like, new shoes, and I bought 2 new pairs of shoes, and she was like, how many shoes do you need? How expensive are these? And I was like, they're literally, like, so cheap compared to all the cards that I usually buy that I can't believe we're even bringing it up. Like, I could sell one card and buy, like, 50, like, all these shoes. It's just like, when you put it in that context, it's like, wow. But when I bought the shoes, it's like, oh my god, I have to spend all this money. This is so ridiculous. Why do I even need these? Can I just run barefoot?
Right. Very true. Jose brings up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and cards are at the top. Very good.
I went to the grocery store today, and I almost bought 6 eggs instead of a dozen eggs because of the price. And then I realized I was being cheap, so I bought the dozen eggs.
And then she dropped them.
I was going to say, and then she dropped them on the way out. We both are thinking the same. I
Yes,
just
Ben.
like, picture Christina dropping eggs. It's like this mental image I can't get out.
Yeah. No, I
happened
mean,
before.
once I started collecting cards, everything else became very expensive. I'm gonna.
If that question hadn't told you the price of eggs, would you have known what eggs cost? No.
Nope. I'm writing that down as a long title potential, just so I get into the habit of it. All right, Stiff, I need you to keep us on target with titles. All right. Cow Cards says, let's discuss influencers trying to herd us like cattle.
Go to the episode on your phone, pull Spotify up, and just like press play and play that. It was like the best. I told you, I texted you. It was the best 2-minute rant I've ever heard on this topic.
Yeah, I did listen to it. I thought it was coming off really bad when I was doing it because I know what part it is now. It's towards the end. And I was just like, I'm making all these weird metaphors and stuff. But what do you think about it, Josh? What do you think about the idea, basically in a nutshell, that like it's understandable that like influencers, content creators would look at the hobby and be like, wow, this is just a totally ripe opportunity to like take over and like, but the reality is that like collectors don't want to be influenced. And we're looking for engagement on ideas and having fun, but we're not looking for a ringleader to tell us what to do and what to think. Yeah,
because I think the whole like influencer model generally sprung up from the desire, the need of people to like make themselves more wealthy or to get in shape or to increase their happiness. I've heard that like the 3 pillars of marketing, like when you're building a product, it has to be based around health, wealth, and happiness, or like entertainment. It's like if you're not selling one of those 3 things, it's like it becomes hard. So all the influencers kind of have created their personas around those 3 things, and our little space of collecting doesn't really fit into those. And so people try to make it fit into wealth. They try to like make it squeeze into this influencer model that they already knew, which is like, I can give advice to help people become more wealthy, right? And so let me just like take this concept, chuck it at this space and see how it sticks. And I like I hadn't really thought of it, but when you brought it up, I was thinking about how, the hobby is like something we're using to escape. And a lot of it that they don't know is that people that are in this space are already wealthy on their own. And they come into this space to be able to acquire things and purchase things so that they can use some of that wealth they've built up outside of cards to, build up this collection that they can show off to their friends or, have this elite status in the space, right? Yep. So that's an interesting topic. Which bucket do you think sports card content would fit best into of the 3 of health, wealth, and entertainment? I think it's entertainment, but it turned into wealth because, that's probably the first choice when you're not sure for most people. And then also that was kind of a playbook that had been used, in the 90s and stuff when the market boomed. So like we already knew that there was some sort of, something brewing on that front anyways. So they thought, hey, we can tap into that again. The market's different. There's, serial numbered cards. There's these different things that I can point to that brings it back, but also improves upon it. What if the real bucket is health? Mental health? Yes. What if that's the bucket? What if the real bucket is like, it's not wealth because like, we have much more traditional, normal means of wealth accumulation. Like we have 401ks and we have, we have that stuff. And then like entertainment, like, if I want to laugh, I'm going to put on a Dave Chappelle Netflix stand-up. And if I want to, be entertained, otherwise I'm going to watch the NFL or the NBA or something. But health is like, we come to this hobby to, be a part of the community, which like has a dimension of healthy lifestyle to it. And like,
it's a release, it's an escape. It's not a perfect fit to health by any means, but if I had to put it into one, if I had to put like our content into one bucket, like it touches on all of them, but like there's something cathartic about this show.
No, this show is definitely like a therapy session.
Yes, this show is a therapy session.
We discussed that last week.
Ankesh says he goes to the hobby to lose IQ points.
I thought the gist of what you were saying was that
you can afford to lose anymore.
Okay, wow.
I thought the gist of what you were saying was that we can have the financial aspect, it just can't be the primary focus. And that's been the irony, is that a lot of the content creators have wanted to make that the primary, and that's the exact reason that it's not working.
Yeah. That's interesting to think about. All right. Mad City Collector says, I have become increasingly aware of a dichotomy in the hobby between collectors who are fans of cards and sets that place more emphasis on design and aesthetics and historical importance, and on the other hand, collectors who buy and collect cards more to express or augment their sports fandom. Do you see similar patterns in regards to the habits and tastes of collectors in the current climate and how they manifest themselves? So you have people who collect the cards for the cards, you have people who collect the cards for the athletes and for their sports fandom. Do you see it that way too?
Yeah, I feel like it's the fandom, like they've both always been there, but the fandom one seems to be more prevalent in the last few years. And I don't know if that's because of, a lot of the people coming into this space are from that world or like the gambling world, and so that's where they lean. Because I always felt when like the blowout days when we first started, it was a lot about sort of like the history and the sets and stuff. I don't know, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience over the last 6.5 years. Is I started off heavily focused on the history of cards and sets and 90s stuff. And the athlete was like the placeholder, it's just like, oh, this is the greatest athlete, in my opinion, of the 90s. So I'll just try and get all the cool cards that I like of this athlete. And then, my perspective shifted a lot as I really got immersed into like modern sports. And from there, it became more about expressing sports fandom and like getting on board with like athletes that I believe in or that impress me or whatever, or at least some of them. So that's kind of been my experience in a nutshell. It's like I've experienced both, and I think they both matter. And I've always wondered about this. Like sometimes I would just, we've talked about this before, like years ago. It's like if you had to give up collecting cards or watching sports, if you had to give up one of those, which one would you give up? And it's
I would give up sports.
Watching sports? Yeah. John?
You two always say you'd give up sports, and I always say I'd give up cards.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's usually a pretty close vote. So they both matter a lot to the hobby. It's it's interesting though that is, I think you got to have both is kind of what I'm saying. Like, or like you ask somebody, what's more important? Is it more important to know as much as you can about the history of the hobby and cards and sets? Or is it more important to know as much as you can about sports and sports history and analyzing players and teams?
Yeah.
The reason I would give up sports is because, like, without cards, when I'm watching sports, I'd be like, oh, I wonder what cool cards will come out about this new athlete that's, like, a rookie this year.
Mm-hmm.
But without sports, collecting cards, I could be like, oh, I'll just stick to the historical, like, athletes that I know, and, like, oh, I don't know, like, these rookies, but who cares?
Yeah,
because all these sets make.
Well, like Winslow says here, without sports, you would be collecting pictures of random grown men. See, that's what makes it such a tough question, is that you need both.
You collect Pokemon.
Yeah, you could collect Pokemon or historical figures. You could collect pieces of Al Capone's tablecloth.
Oh my god. Or like his paint chippings.
Yeah, or like a piece of his wallpaper.
Yeah, wallpaper.
Cards to me are art. So like, what's the difference between like a random athletic-looking guy on a card and a picture of like a painting of some guy or some woman that you don't know either that's hanging on your wall?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the same concept to me. Like, is it Mona Lisa just some woman that got painted?
Yeah, no, I mean, all right. Splendid Sports says, what players in the hobby are the Pizzeria Bianco equivalents, meaning they are good but way overhyped? And then he drops two suggestions: Zion and Justin Herbert.
I was gonna say John Morant and Justin Herbert, but that's pretty close.
Yeah, I think that's.
I immediately thought of Zion myself.
Yo, look, like Zion.
He's always injured.
He's always injured, but he's very good.
He is very good, but the market surpassed him due to his injuries. So like his output has not it does not make sense that that's his market. Even
He had a 1-of-1 optic gold vinyl rookie sell for $20,000 last night.
Yeah, what'd you think about that one?
I think his prices have come down a lot.
Oh,
A lot. Still the only graph I can even think of where it's come down from where it started.
yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy sale to see. So, like, that card had once sold for $45,000 in August of 2020. Man, these optical, even like back then, like, I mean, it's such a sick card. Like, I love the optical vinyl 1-of-1. I know people don't love the photograph of this card.
Still, it's like a pretty important card of his, and it only sold for $20,000.
Yeah, I'd say it's a very important card. Justin Fields, I remember Fields' rookie optical vinyl 1-of-1 sold for about $5,000 midway through the season. So.
You mean ex-Bears, Justin Fields?
No.
Well, so would you add anybody? John Morant and Herbert?
Well, it's such a silly. It's hard to process for me because it's like they're good and they're overhyped. So that covers Zion and Herbert. They are good players, very, very good players, but they're also being, there's an excitement level around them that's just really high. That's what this question is saying. So, dude, who doesn't it apply to? Who doesn't it apply to? That's what I would say. It's all the young players, I think, who get a lot of mentions. Like,
I would agree with that.
yeah, it's a lot of them. All right, Mad City Collector says, "Oh, okay, here we go. What do you think? What do you think about paying more for a Topps Chrome Gold out of 50 than the Orange out of 25, or more generally, paying more for a less rare card that you find more beautiful than its rarer counterpart? So, like in Prism, we have the neon green fast break out of 5. That's not as beautiful.
It's going to cost me more than like all 3 of those 1-of-1s combined. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So it says, I found myself making this choice last week when these 2 variations of the same player and grade were available because I liked the gold better.
He's talking about baseball, probably, right? Orange is 25. That's like a Topps Chrome thing.
Yep.
I would definitely pay more for the gold, especially because collectors definitely prefer the better aesthetic card up to a certain point. Like if the orange was out of 1, then it kind of, you know what I mean? Like people would just the black, if the black was at a 25 and the gold was at a 50, I think people would probably pay about equal, maybe a little more for the gold. But since the black's out of 1, really sways it the other way.
Yep. I'm there with you too. This is a little bit tricky because, like you were alluding to, like gold like has its own pedigree that's important across sports, across products, across manufacturers. But like if this came down to like a blue out of 50 versus an orange out of 25, and like the blue's a prettier color, but the orange is twice as rare, rarity might tip the scale in that scenario. I think the fact that it's a gold is playing a big factor here. What do you think about that?
Yep, agreed. Unless it's like a really nice color match in the blue, I think most people are taking the orange.
Yeah. So gold makes it more difficult. Okay. 610 sports cards.
Dick.
It says he's got a lot of cards.
Maybe it's like his area code, his phone area code.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So he says, stop comparing.
I thought it was his weight. I thought he was on 600-pound life.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Sorry.
He says.
Hi, Justin.
He says, stop comparing recent auction results to their 24-month all-time highs. It is lazy and irrelevant analysis. I just want to say, go off, King. Go off, because this is we have become the involuntary subjects to the auction recap overlords, who we just can't click away. We just have to read the one-liner, and the one-liner of just, man, this Kobe used to be 300,000 and now it's 30,000.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
You guys just do this at the beginning of the show?
Do what? Don't make fun of the host of this show. Go ahead, Josh.
No, I was gonna say there's like 3 or 4 people in the hobby that if they make a statement or like some provocative thing they say, and I don't necessarily agree with it up front, but then because it's that person who said it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're probably right, and I'm on their side now. I thought the auction recaps were interesting at first. I took part in it for a little while. I thought they were kind of fun, and then it's turned into like. It's like we're just shitting on it going down or something. I'm not sure what the goal is anymore. Like, I thought it was interesting when it was trying to analyze, like where the market might be headed next and trying to figure out like historical data and look at patterns of like up and down motions and stuff. But now it's just like, oh, it's funny to point out all the morons, that lost all this money, haha. And it's just like, and some of these don't even have analysis. They're just literally like, this card sold for X, now it's sold for Y. Yeah, I can read. Thank you.
Right. Or I love the ones where it's like a big ass picture of the card and you can clearly see that it's a 3-color patch.
No,
and it's like
those annoy me.
3-color patch.
Or the
oh well.
9 autos.
Okay, well the 9 autos are so funny to me because that's when you know it's like, you didn't even take the time to look at the grade of the autograph. So, and by the way, I implore our friends at PWCC, please include the autograph grade and listing titles. That is a really helpful practice for people. When
they always say it when it's a 10, so I just assume if there's no auto in the title that it's not a 10.
Okay, that's a fair assumption. Just jotting down a potential title here.
This is like, to me, this is the number one reason card ladder is important and valuable, because all the computer algorithms and all the automated systems that want to compare card prices would get that part wrong, and we get it right because we know the market. We're able to look at the picture, tell that the auto seems not perfect, and then we dig in more and figure out, okay, this actually we get the back picture and it's like, oh, this is actually a 9 auto. Can't put this into the profile. It doesn't, it's not the same card.
Correct. I agree with that entirely. And I want to give a shout out to somebody who does a nice job on auction recaps. which is Cal's Cards. And he does a nice job. And I thought of him because you mentioned the crux of the issue, which is what's the point of the recap? Is the point of the recap to try and learn something about the market, which that's something that Cal's Cards tries to do with his recaps? Is it to try and find opportunity in the market, try to find pricing imbalances in the market? Is it to do something constructive? And in the case of his auction recaps, the answer is yes. There are other auction recaps, and this is what I think 610 Sports Cards is referring to, where the purpose of the recap.
He's going to beat you up on this panel.
Not if I get him with the circle first.
He's going to step on you.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to. He could just put his arm out like this and just keep me away. Yeah. But I think what he's getting at is some of these other auction recaps, they don't have a purpose besides proving to people over and over again how smart the pessimists were and how wise they were to dump all their cards. And now they just hang around to remind everybody that they are our hobby overlords. And to it's a free it's a free pump me up. If I sold all my cards, and I probably genuinely miss my cards, but then I see that the value of cards is going down, so I log on to Instagram, I'm like, ha, cards are going down, I sold my cards, because some of these people are probably waiting to get their cards back. They obviously love the community, they love the cards, they love the attention they get from being in the community, and they love the attention they get from discussing cards. So at some point they're going to come back in and get cards again. But in the meantime, they're having a grand old time doing recaps. And as far as I can tell, the only point of them is to just show how smart they were.
Well, can I give you 2 examples of where a recap is really useful and what you could get value from?
Sure.
When the market was going the other way, going super high up, a big point of emphasis that I was posting was this stuff is probably not sustainable when looking at some of the pop reports and the number of cards in circulation for these copies. If cards out of 50 or out of 100 and it's gone up 10x in a couple months, you should probably be wary of this. Here's the historical graphs. We've never even come close to this sort of increase. And if we ever have had an increase like this, it's almost always immediately met with a decline on something of this pop. Thinking of cards that are pop 200, Topps Chrome Refractors LeBron. That card should have been 250 grand, right? There's just way too many of them. And of course it comes way back down. So that, and then on the other side, now, if you think that the market has overcorrected too much and we're back to 2017, 2018 levels, when the trajectory of the sort of slow up and right graph sort of hit its point at 2020 and we're back to 2018, 2019, there's some interesting data there that says, hey, if you collect this player, now might be a time to jump in.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, is that too much to ask from our auction recaps? That they consider saying something that's helpful to collectors?
Well, someone should do a whole in-depth recap of Mahomes cards over the last 6 months. I think that would be fascinating because you talked about it a lot with Brett, but digging into the actual numbers of how much percent he's gone down since having the best season that he could possibly have, and what that means to collectors. If you pointed out some examples of what if I collected Mahomes and at the beginning of the year bought stuff, I was hoping he had this monster year. He did, and I lost half the value of my collection. What am I supposed to think? How am I supposed to have confidence in this, this hobby when this is happening to me? And what can you do about it? What can you learn from that, and what can you do next time?
Yeah, well said. We the last 2 years have created an environment in which the long-term collector got absolutely hammered and hosed. And that is a very bad outcome, I think, for the longevity of the hobby. If there's any group that should be able to like avoid getting slaughtered and should be able to opt into taking low risk opportunities to collect cards, it should be people who are collecting great players and who have no intention or desire to sell the cards. That's the group of people that I would love to see actually be able to take a low risk proposition. And I can speak to the pain of this because among many purchases that have gone down in value for me, one of the ones that stick out was buying Flair Legacy Collection Jordan for a price that's 3x what it's worth today. And not the one that you bought, Christina. That one's fine. It was for three. You know, it's gone down 67%, and it's like, so if I can't go into the market and just buy a nice, really not very hyped up Michael Jordan parallel from the 90s without getting my head chopped off, what can I buy? You know, if you're in football and you can't go collect Mahomes grails before he has an all-time season that doubled his resume and in the minds of a lot of people put him somewhere on the top 5 list of all-time quarterbacks. Like, if I went out and said, you know what, I'm going to start collecting Mahomes this year. I want to see this guy's career through. And then, you know, all of a sudden the cards I bought of his after the Super Bowl MVP, after Super Bowl, after the regular season MVP, after over 5,000 passing yards, after leading the league in touchdowns, the cards have lost half their value. Something is wrong. The system is broken. To channel my inner hobby Bernie Sanders, the hobby is broken. The system is bad. It's bad.
Yeah. You almost have to like cover that giant up and down from like 2019 to 2020, you know, early 2022. Just like pretend that giant up and giant down didn't happen. Right. Get back on track to what it was before.
Yes, you have to do that. And, you know, okay, now here's the flip side of it, though. Number one, if you're more of a market opportunist and you understand what moves this market, there is tremendous opportunity to thrive in a market like this. But that doesn't line up with what collectors want to do. Yeah. Collectors don't want to time markets and, you know, sell their Mahomes now and then buy it back in 6 months and then sell it again and then buy it again. But the reality is that this is a market, and that's how markets work. And that's one of the fundamental parts of this market, for better or worse, especially over the last 3 years, is that, you know, if a player is being hyped and targeted by investors and speculators and flippers, it's going to be very difficult to just be a long-term collector of that player. It's going to be very difficult to do that.
Whenever I listen to other podcasts, and they have big, long discussions like this, I always want them to offer up some piece of like tangible thing that I can take away. So I'm trying to think of that. And I certainly have made mistakes just as much as you, and I've definitely bought cards and they've gone down a ton over the last couple of years, like we all have. But one of the things that always helps me is like focusing on the cards that I do want to end up owning, and like having all those cards sort of in my mind or on paper and ready to go. And then if they become available at a point at which I feel things just like aren't making sense, like why is this going down? Like when the bubble happened, remember the bubble and prices were going down a ton, and I felt like the Lakers had a lot of momentum, and I just felt like it was just a weird time to go down. It didn't make sense. So I started buying a ton of like high-end LeBrons. And then in the last like couple months, same kind of feeling, like it just doesn't make sense that all this stuff's happening and it's going down so much. Now I feel comfortable to buy. I mean, it's certainly not a perfect science, and there's obviously no way to time it perfectly, like you said. And we don't want to do that, but maybe just like try to use your instinct and your gut to try to pounce at certain moments.
Totally. Like, look, I can sit here and point out the issues, but being a baby about it doesn't solve anything. It's better to just accept the reality of it, which is this is how the market works. There will be opportunities. This is never going to be a perfect correlation where it's like, hey, if you pick a player and that player does well, then you do well. Because guess what? There's already a market for that. It's called sports wagering. This is a different market. It's got its unique properties. And after, I'm done being disappointed with them, after that time frame passes, then I have to accept them. And I have to play within the rules of how this market works, because at the end of the day, that's how bad I want the cards.
Yeah.
So,
we always get the question of like, do you think X is undervalued, and will people eventually appreciate it over time? And I usually respond like, I can't predict the future, but it's like, it's true. We can't. I have no idea. So, like, use your own collector instinct. Like, what do you think? Do you want the card or not? Would you rather have money or would you rather have the card?
Yeah. And there are certain ways to hack this system too. Like, so maybe I don't get to collect Mahomes, but maybe I do get to collect Steve Young. And maybe I can learn more about a player like Steve Young, who is not being hyped up in any way, shape, or form. We've never gotten a question of the crossover about Steve Young. Yeah. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
But he's got one of the most impressive black ink tests, led the league completion percentage half a dozen times, won multiple MVPs, won multiple Super Bowls, just has one of the all-around best resumes of a quarterback ever.
Oh, okay. I was waiting. I was like, what sport does he play?
There you
go.
You
talked about this. You talked about this on Stacking Styles, but I was gonna at some point sneak in taking bets on the next vintage athlete you start collecting.
Steve Young. You know what I like about Steve Young too? He majored in economics, and he's always dropping little factoids when he's talking and like relating stuff to economics.
Is he the best left-handed quarterback of all time?
Well, I don't know that he has that much competition.
Yeah.
Could that be the foundation of a pump and dump? Best left-handed athlete ever.
Well, my early bets are Steve Young and Julius Erving.
Julius Erving has such a compelling case because he dominated the ABA and the NBA. And I was talking to a buddy, Julian, about this, and like there was a big knock on the ABA that it just wasn't as good of a league. But Dr. J was influential in showing that actually, he was the best in the one, and then he became the best in the other. Mm-hmm. And Dr. J is wildly overlooked and underrated when it comes to his statistical resume.
You know how people always use this in their pump and dump schemes? If this player came into the league today, their prices would be bananas. That's like a nice little. But Julius Erving to me is like the actual poster of that phrase. Like he actually, because of the whole like dunk contest, the high flying, the afro, the style, his actual stats to back it up. He's got championship rings. Like Julius Erving would be incredibly hyped if he was a young player today.
Yeah, he would. Some other cool play, like the thing that's tough about Erving is the offering of cards.
Yeah, the rookie card. He's got the pop one though. One of my favorite all-time cards in hobby history that exists is his rookie card is PSA 10 is a pop one.
Yeah, let me pull up his rookie card here, because Steve Young's gonna have PMGs and rubies and everything. Emmitt Smith is another one who just has accolades coming out of years.
Pull up Kramer's PC. He PCs Julius Erving, and he's got a lot of nice stuff. So like, it's definitely out there.
Yeah, no, he's way, way, way out ahead. Okay, so here is Irving's rookie card, Virginia Squires. It's a nice looking card. I like the design of it. PSA 10's a pop one. The PSA 9, what if you had to guesstimate what that goes for? What would you think?
I think it was around 20 grand for a while, so it's probably like 12 grand right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it?
It's right, pretty much 12 on the nose. Yep.
I didn't cheat. That's just pure skill.
Let's go. Pop 162.
Yep.
So
Pop 1? The 10 is a pop. Isn't that like the coolest, one of the coolest little like trivia things about the hobby ever?
that is a cool trivia thing about the hobby. Having a pop 1 rookie is amazing and terrifying because you never know when that pop 2 might come. But
He has no other cards.
no, yeah, exactly. Also, by the way, though, this Irving got as high as 60 grand.
Oh.
60 grand.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's move on here. Vinny. Oh, one last thought, though. To put a bow on like picking players, like if you want to try and find a player that maybe is not going to get sucked up into the hype cycle, a great way to do that is a combination of like who is ESPN not talking about and who are like the nerds of the sport looking up to. That's you can find a great sweet spot if you can find a player who overlaps both of those. All right. Also, there's like some really good old quarterbacks. In the chat, it was mentioned, Nerdy Card Guy, nice handle, says nobody discounts baseball pre-war statistics. Like in football, there are some of the most impressive statistical resumes are like automatic Otto Graham and these guys who played in like the 40s and 50s. So, and they only have like one rookie card as well. All right. Vinny Slabarino.
Long time listener.
No.
Thanks for doing this.
Always enjoy the show.
Always enjoy the show. He says when Mount Rushmore was built, there had only been 30 prior presidents. So picking the best 4 was taking 13% of the available population. So
I like where this is going.
4 was a lot. So it is unfair to try and cram in the GOATs of any sport into a Mount Rushmore because the total number of players is so much higher.
Yeah.
So what other famous thing could we use to give us more room for the GOATs of a sport? And then he offers up some suggestions. The Supreme Court, which has 9 judges, okay. The Last Supper, which has 12 apostles.
One of which was a traitor.
One of which was a traitor, so you can throw like a bad player on there.
Yeah, he could be the Judas.
Yep. And then you can have the Medusa, 13 snake heads. Thanks, Vinny.
I always did think it was weird when people on First Take do the Mount Rushmore, pictures, and it's like 4. Why don't we just do 5? Like we've already gone this far. Just do the top 5. What kind of weirdo stops at 4?
Right. Well, the NBA put out a top 75 list, so
That's for this years of the NBA. Like 4 is just so small. It doesn't make any sense.
no, I know. I think there's actually a lot of comfort with doing lengthy lists. I think so. Your Vinny's point is well taken. I think that there's also like obviously incredible difficulty comparing players from different eras. It's almost pointless. But I think that I'm going the exact other way on this question. I think there should just be 1. I don't think there should be 4. I think pick 1. Pick your GOAT. And if it's going by era, fine. But why do we need 4? We don't need 4. We need 1. Go.
The longer the list is, the more like Gen Z it becomes of just like including everybody, just we don't hurt feelings.
But at the same time, the longer the list is, the more people you're pissing off because like you didn't put Kobe at 5, but you put him at 8. Like
Klay Thompson.
Like, so, I mean, if you go with 1, everyone can be mad at it, but, like, eventually, like, people of, like, less, like, fans of lesser players will be like, well, I knew Klay Thompson wasn't going to be the actual GOAT anyway, so I can't really be mad at your pick.
Fair enough. All right, this one comes from Hot Sauce Sports Cards, a.k.a. Bill.
What's up, Bill?
He says, last night, referring to the PWCC Premier Auction, a 2019 LeBron James Select Black Disco 1-of-1 sold for $10,200, and a LeBron Black 1-of-1 from 2017 Eternal containing an NBA Finals game-used Logo Man tag sold for the same price. Am I missing something here as a collector? Please discuss. And so I'll pull up these two. Here's the Eternal. The 2017-18 Panini Eternal 17 NBA Finals memorabilia black with the game-used finals tag. And then here is the disco. The Select Black Disco BGS 9.5. So these two cards sold for the same price. So what reactions do you have for Hot Sauce?
I've never even heard of the brand Eternal, so that's probably the answer.
Right.
But I would much rather have that one right there. I know you probably even take the other one, but that finals card is pretty slick.
It is slick. It's the double photograph is unique as well. Yeah, the double.
Old Zaza Pachulia action.
That's old slide his foot under Zaza.
Son of a bitch. Fuck that guy.
Yes. So Bill's just calling out this card. Bill says the check's in the mail for promoting his Eternal card that he bought last night.
I hope he bought that. Whenever someone says something like that to me, I'm always like, well, did you buy the one that you thought was too cheap? Like, if you're not buying it, what are you even doing?
Right. Yeah, it's as much as it is a legitimate grievance. If a value seems out of balance, it's that much of an opportunity that might not be there. Whatever corrects.
There's a phrase for that. Put your money where your mouth is. Write that one down as a title.
Yeah, and then right on the back side of the card, it says the enclosed game-worn jersey material is from the 2017 NBA Finals and is guaranteed by Panini America.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. That's a very cool card. So thank you.
He says he didn't buy it. He appreciates the feedback.
There we go. Oh, all right, Bill. Well, you just made somebody else's day, whoever won that card.
Dude, that's a cool side effect to what you just said. If the person who bought that's watching, they're probably like, damn, I am smart. Yeah.
People do like me.
Or the guy who bought the Select was like, fuck you guys, it's a cool card.
Yeah, the guy with the Select's like, come on, guys. Like, what the fuck?
Still 101, bitch. Select the big win.
Yeah. Okay, Pac Nicholson. Pac Nicholson is back after a long hiatus. Maybe we could even call it an off-season. Pac Nicholson says...
He's the Kawhi Leonard of question answers.
Yeah. He's doing some major load management right now. He says, when sending stuff off for grading, which I will be doing soon, he says, how much thought do you put into the order of the cards? Like the order. Do you lead with the strongest card? Or do you build up to it? Okay. And then I'm laughing, but we're going to break this down. Do you ever send a sacrificial lamb card? One that looks like a solid 8, but then every card after it looks like a 10 by comparison.
Oh, that's
The
genius.
lamb.
That's genius.
Just wondering what your strategies are here. So let's just take these one by one as they come. First of all, do you put any thought into the presentation for the graders' entertainment so that there's a build-up so that they don't just get the best card first, but that, maybe they start leaving. They're like, oh, okay, this guy's got some stuff. Whoa!
I mean, I haven't, but I am now.
Right. Right. There's an art to all of this. Okay, and then he says, do you do the sacrificial lamb card?
That's a great title, first of all, Sacrificial Lamb.
Yeah.
I've never thought of that either. That's pretty smart. That one's really funny because that's like you get them thinking like, oh, I've seen a little bit of edge wear. I've seen some corners not great. This thing's probably a 7 or an 8. Oh wow, look at this one. This one's perfect. Oh yeah, 10. Genius. Because you gotta remember, we're dealing with humans, right? We're dealing with human graders. These are not robots. So you are able to, even if it's like 1%, and even if it's not intentional, there is maybe like a 1% sort of emotional human error baked into some of this stuff,
Yeah. Yep. It's hard to, what possible downside or backfiring could happen
right?
if you do the sacrificial lamb.
Or you purposely damage the card and put it in. Is that what he's saying?
Why not? I mean, you could if you had like a base card,
I don't like this.
It's just like a bunch of gold prisms and like one base card, and the grader's like, what?
The grader's like, okay,
Exactly.
that's how this can backfire.
If you make it too obvious,
It's got a big scratch.
because the grader's thinking you think that you're smarter.
You're
than the
outsmarting
grader.
them.
Yeah, and then your 1% of human emotion is now pissed at you.
That's what
Yeah, we want
I
to
think about too, is the backfire.
We want to think that these graders are like super unemotional and robotic in how they go about this, and they're the same every time. But I guarantee you, if they got 9 gold prisms and 1 base card with a big scratch and like clear damage, they would say something, right? They're human. They'd be like, "Oh, this is weird. Why is this in here?"
Yeah. No, I think that would work. They would see it and be like, "Oh, okay. I guess every other card's a 10."
You're the guy that believes all the hype of everything you ever read. Oh my god. You're the reason that this content keeps coming out.
You have to make it not obvious. So one of your goals now has to be the sacrificial lamb.
Ooh, you have to scratch one of your goals?
Or bend it in half, or push it down.
Dude, shove that freaking Brian Hoyer. Sorry, bud. Brian Hoyer's getting a big old scratch across his dome.
It's going to be like, oh, Curry, LeBron, Luka, Jokic, Brian Hoyer. And it's got smudges on the surface. Every other card's a 10.
It's got like a big old like Hodge fingerprint over his face. The grader's like, oh, let me get that for you there, Chris. Let me clean it up for you.
Oh man. But you know what though? There's something to all this. But you gotta be
said on Brett's podcast, you said we're not sheep, but we make sacrificial lambs.
Yeah. I may have been wrong.
I love that take though, because the influencers like think everyone they're talking to is a sheep, but like maybe they've got this one wrong, and this hobby is like a lot more clever than they want to think. They want us to be dumb, so that we just do what they say, but we're kind of like, no, fuck off. We do it our way. And that's because Gary like was so used to having people listen to hang on every word he says, and now he's getting a lot of pushback.
Dude, this hobby has assassinated, metaphorically, every influencer who tried to commandeer it. Every time. And some of our most celebrated content creators at this point are people who lead that charge. and are people who are pushing back violently against the idea that, you know, the hobby is just a bunch of automatons who are here to sit with their mouth agape and drool coming down from one of the corners of their lips and look at charts. You know, it's just, this hobby is just never going to be that. That's not the type of people who populate this hobby.
So Logan Paul isn't our overlord? We didn't listen to every word he said?
He is not. He is not. Do you even think it could be possible for an influencer like Drake probably was very smart to just dip a toe and then leave?
Well, he got all the DMs, or not DMs, but like people in the chat are like, "Hey, message me after. Oh, I would love to do a break." He's like, "I'm out. Fuck this. These guys are weird."
Yeah. That's true too. We saved ourselves from that, but like the first time Drake ever like held up a Jordan Fleer PSA 10 and would have been like, "What do you guys think? Is this cheap?" He would have been raked across the coals.
That's a good title. Drake would have been raked across the coals.
Drake raked across the coals?
Yeah, that's funny. If he would have tried a stunt like that. Whoa, easy there. Well, because like when that break happened, it was like, oh, possible PSA 10s. This box could be worth $2 million. And it's like, nope, we're not stupid. There were probably 8s, and they were.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so, dude, this hobby isn't going to make an exception for anyone. Like this hobby will have you figured out as a pump and dump con artist, no matter who you are. It doesn't. It just like. Is there any celebrity who would be impervious? If I was like a PR person for a celebrity, I might even go so far as to say, like, if you want to collect, do it privately. Not like start a big social media presence, because it's just never going to end well. People in that hobby don't want to feel like they're being influenced. They don't want to feel like they're being told what to do.
Want to hear something funny on this note? You know that press conference with LeBron that everyone loves to use in their clips to try to pump their LeBron cards, where he's like, I own a couple rookie cards, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I got 2 of those.
The first thing I thought was like, 2, which ones? You can't even fucking say what cards they are. You probably got some base top chromes, bro. Like, you're trying to pump me on LeBron RPAs? I'm not even sure you know what card I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, prove that you have the RPAs. You probably have some fucking dumb Topps paper cards.
Dude, that's so funny. That's so true. That's how we think in the hobby.
Literally the guy I'm collecting, his face is on all the cards. And even him, I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of don't believe you.
No, and you know, like that's how we think in this hobby. It's like, fuck you, prove it.
Come on, LeBron.
Fuck you, prove it.
If Luka said that, if he was like, I collect some of my own cards, you're like, probably trash, probably garbage stuff. You know, half of what I got.
Show me your hoops base PSA 9, Luka. I know that's what you got. I know that's what you got. Come on.
Like, you stick to putting the ball in the hoop, I'll stick to collecting pictures of you putting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, right. It's like, come on. Like, I'm not pretending like I know what plays you're running on the floor. You don't got to pretend like you know what's going on with all these cards.
That's hilarious. That's such a good Nice try, MJ, you dummy. Not falling for your birthday tricks. I don't care how old you are. Not the day I buy your cards. 60, you're old anyways.
Like, Mantle, you know, he might have been good at baseball, but he didn't know shit about eye appeal.
He might have been able to hit a 100-mile-an-hour baseball, but he don't know shit about 52 top.
No. I mean, is there any celebrity that could come into the hobby?
No.
Dude, Giannis, rightfully so, has been, like, decimated because he was keeping all those redemptions.
We should be excited, but we're like, are you kidding me? I could have had those cards. You fucking thief. People are like calling the cops flops on Giannis. Like, dude, this guy's stealing fucking cards.
Yeah.
Panini, cancel your contracts. This guy is bad news.
Exactly. Nah, there's nobody is above the hobby. There we go.
But if there was a celebrity who like could convince you that they were genuine somehow, I'm not sure how, but like nobody.
How about this? How about if there was if like a celebrity was running the Bob M Track account? That would be the way to do it. That would be the way to do it. Just collect your cards, post your cards, tell the story of your cards, and just that's the only way I think it could get pulled off.
I don't know.
At some
Go ahead.
point, though, if say I don't even know who, like Matt Damon is Bob M Track.
Mm-hmm. Matt Damon.
And
Matt Damon.
I don't fucking know celebrities. So let's just say, like, it comes out and like
Why not Ben Affleck?
fucking Ben Affleck.
All right,
Ben
Ben
Affleck. Okay, Ben Affleck is fucking Bob M Track, and
Okay.
he comes out and he says posts a picture with the cards, and he's like, "It's time I tell you my true identity," like that, Ben.
Mm-hmm. We would 50% would hate right off the bat.
Exactly.
There'll be so many memes.
And the other 50% would be riding him hard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It'd be really tough. Because also we're going to start hating too because we're all competing for these cards.
Yeah.
And so...
Wow, great. Now fucking Matt Damon's buying my cards I'm trying to get. Thanks a lot, buddy. Now I hate all your dumb movies.
And, like, what do you need those cards for, Matt Damon? Like, you could just go hang out with LeBron.
Mm.
Like, leave something for the rest of us peasants.
Now, if Justin Timberlake started a LeBron James Gold Chrome PC,
Okay.
I might...
Justin as N-Track.
No, not M-Track. That PC is too good. It needs to be...
way too good, yeah.
I don't ever want to know what Bob looks like or who his true identity is, because that PC is too good.
Exactly. The PC is the focal point of all of it right now, as it should be.
It's just a gray background. It looks like it's on some sort of gray felt surface. That's all I want to know.
What is that background?
Does it matter?
No, but I am captivated by it.
The PC would definitely go down in value, like 50% if you knew who it was. You'd be like, well, don't care anymore.
So, like, this is that gray background for those who are wondering and who maybe haven't seen Bob M. Track's page.
Do you remember the gray couch?
Oh, man. Gray couch, man.
Remember that?
How could I forget?
That's so the gray. You might want to spray paint that.
What is that? Do you think that's a carpet?
Look.
Is he, like, hovering over the floor?
Uh-oh.
Shit.
I don't know what that is.
What I think I think he like sits cross-legged on the floor and hovers over the card and snaps the pick.
Maybe.
It looks like fabric that you would buy from the store, like a felt, like the texture of it, like I would not say is carpet.
Some are saying granite countertop.
No, I think it's like a flat, like felt, like Christina said.
Well, that'll just be one of the many unsolved mysteries.
We're gonna have like the hobby sleuths like start looking into it and solve. They're gonna find out who Bob M. Track is based on this gray felt background.
Oh, that'd be so. Look at that. Jesus, like, if you're ever wondering why you haven't seen the one-of-one superfractors and black prisms out on PWCC Premier and Golden, it's because this guy has all of them.
Yeah, this guy is like a masterclass in how to discreetly and also publicly share your collection. Okay. Move on. Next question.
Also,
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
I was just gonna say the picture, like his profile picture of the dog, looks like he's sitting on the floor. Just saying.
All right. Christina got the last one.
Surprise, surprise.
Ben, cross-country runner,
Oh, he's
won.
back.
Oh, boy. No, don't go too far down that rabbit hole, Ben. Just leave it as a mystery. I think you don't want to solve this mystery. All right. Ben, cross-country runner, won, says, what percentage of people in the hobby do you think are playing in each of these cost ranges? People who own cards that are worth over $1 million. People who own cards that are worth over $100,000. People who own cards that are worth over $10,000, over $1,000, and then below that. Also, which of these groups do you think has the most influence or the most impact on the overall card market?
Man, Ben's on fire today. You may take a stab at it.
Yeah, go for it.
Like probably like 0.1%, and then 1%. Over $1 million is 0.1. Over 100,000 is 1%, and then over 10,000 is like 5%, 10%. What was the last one? Over 1,000.
Yeah.
I think over 1,000 is like 50. A lot of people, like kids, have freaking $1,000 cards. You know.
You don't gotta fucking tell me, buddy.
Yeah. So I realize that was like 50. Like it seems like everybody's got a card over $1,000 these days.
It does seem that way. It took me it took me about a year maybe before I got to the point where I was buying $1,000 cards.
What a loser.
But you were also unemployed.
What are we piling on?
I'm just saying.
You're also a loser at the
You were also a broke bum who didn't have a job and couldn't even buy $1,000
You were
card.
studying for the you were studying for the BARDs, the LSAT.
No, just go ahead. Just keep going. You didn't have any clothes. You didn't have a car.
No socks.
You wore fucking sandals without socks.
Your car was orange.
It still is, actually. Still is. Yeah, I think that's a nice breakdown.
Car update. Our car got broken into again.
No, it didn't.
Swear to
Didn't we
God.
tell this?
In the-
Did we talk about this?
Last week?
Oh no, we talked about this last week.
It's had the
You
catalytic
did.
converter stolen twice last year, and then it's been broken into once within like the last week or two. They did not get the converter, but they did steal the manual to the car.
And the charger.
Oh,
Yeah. But, okay. I think that's a nice breakdown. 0.1% in the million over, 1% 100,000 over, 10% of the 10,000 over, and 1,000 over is at least 50%. Yeah. Do you want to know, did you know that there are 22 million millionaires? I think in America?
no, not what? There's like 400 million people total.
I know. Hold on. I made some content about this once.
I bet you did.
It was a long off season.
Yeah, this must have been during baseball season.
This was definitely 100%. This was during baseball season.
Oh, the summer. You're just like, well, I have nothing else to talk about.
Yep. Oh, where is it?
While you look for that, what was the second part of Ben's question?
The second part of Ben's question was
21,951,000 people in the U.S. have a net worth of $1 million or more.
there you go. 22 million Americans have a net worth of $1 million or more.
That's like 1 in every 20 people?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 1 in every 18, 17 people. Wow. I would not have gotten that right.
8.8% of America.
That's even less than 1 in 20. 1 in...
Still, that's way more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and so basically it's just all the baby boomers who have completely siphoned the wealth from every other generation, and
There are 56 million people in the world who have a $1 million or more.
Wow. America is hoarding all the millionaires.
But look, it's the boomers. Just so you know. As What Are We Doing Here points out, that's mostly due to home values. It's net.
Oh.
Yes.
Yawn.
Yep. Big yawn. Fake millionaires.
Yeah. Millionaires only in net worth, not even real money.
It's also boomers who have like 5-bedroom houses that won't sell it for less than $4 million, even though everyone else in the world needs a house.
Yep.
But I always love that. It's like, I'm a millionaire. Yeah, but if you sold your house, you'd have the million and then you'd have nowhere to live. So I don't think that's the same.
So game over, fake millionaire.
He's like, well, I could move into an apartment and be a millionaire, or I could have this house.
Okay, and then the second part of this question is this. Which of these groups do you think has the most influence or impact on the card market?
I don't know.
It's hard to me. It's hard to argue anything other than it's the top 0.1%, because those headline-grabbing sales just seem to have a really big psychological effect and confidence boost on people buying. Everything else tiered down.
Yeah. I was going to say 10,000 to 100,000 just because, like, it's a nice balance. I don't know. I don't have a good answer, really.
And those people are transacting a lot more frequently. I think. So there ain't that many cards that cost over $1 million.
Nope, there's not.
So
I do think a lot less than there was a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, just like there's 22 million millionaires today. Who knows how many there are going to be less
once the housing market crashes.
Once Bitcoin went down, it went.
There's definitely less millionaires right now than there was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Definitely less. Okay. Next. On the Hunt wants to talk about the invasion of pickleball.
Ugh, probably not.
First of all, do you think it's even because like basketball, football, baseball, these sports are like few hundred years old? Like, could we ever have a new sport get developed that could break into the mainstream?
No,
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Can I tell you why?
Like
UFC?
UFC did it.
That's an interesting.
But can I tell you why? Can I tell you why pickleball is not that?
Sure.
Because when we look to sports for popularity, we look to something that like we feel we couldn't just do it on our own easily. Pickleball is just too easy. Like pickleball's for like retired people. It's really easy. Anyone can pick it up. Freaking football. We watch football because it's like these guys are flying around, smashing into each other. They're faster than we are. We want to look up to these people because they're much better than we are. Like tennis is like a way more extended, fully athletic version of pickleball, right? Pickleball is like shrunken down retirement home version of it.
That's a great take. Hey, just to go back to the other question, just a fun piece of trivia. The world's 100 richest people didn't earn their first $1 million until age 37 on average. That's the 100 richest people. Didn't even get their first $1 million until age 37 on average. Did you know that the average sports card collector got their first million at age 12? So, fun fact.
12's a little high. I was thinking like 9 or 10. But all right.
I want to see the study.
Yeah.
I want
the double blind.
No, it couldn't have been.
Have you played pickleball?
No, dude, it's called pickleball. I'm already out.
What do you think about my take? It's like basketball, football. These are like ultra athletic
Yeah.
sports with these crazy athletes, and I gotta watch two old guys
No.
play pickleball? Like, no thanks.
You gonna turn into the Olympics of speed walking?
Yes. Freaking, what's that thing where they brush the thing across the ice?
Oh,
Curling.
curling.
Yeah, nobody's trying to watch curling.
People watch curling every Winter Olympics.
What's your best curling card?
That's what big curling wants you to believe.
Big curling.
Yeah, of course Marino plays pickleball.
Ugh.
The richest guy I know.
Is that like an elite sport? Is that like a country club kind of sport now? Pickleball?
I just don't have the pedigree to play pickleball. That's the
Does
point.
anyone?
Marino does. I don't know, man. Pickleball, like I said, I'm out. On the name alone.
What brand of clothing do people that play pickleball wear? Lacoste?
Yeah, they've got the little alligator logo. And
Vineyard Vines.
Vineyard Vines. Yep.
Puma?
No, they would never stoop to Puma.
No, they're.
Oh, I know.
Come on.
Adidas.
Adidas. Abada.
Asics. Asics, that's good. What's that one that Gary Vee tried to bring back?
New Balance?
No. He like joined up with some
Oh,
company.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Ralph Lauren Polo.
Saucony?
If you can buy it at Macy's, they ain't wearing it.
Lululemon. It wasn't Skechers. It was like starts with a K, I think.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
Just Google it. Go to the next question.
Look up Gary Vee.
I don't know what those are.
Shoe company.
So do we have any final thoughts on the invasion of pickleball?
K-Swiss. Thank you. It's K-Swiss.
Hey, Swiss. Yeah, that takes me back. Fila.
I have no other comment about pickleball.
Invasion is the right word. Invasion
Pickleball is the chat GPT of the sports world.
Ooh. Okay. Break that down a little bit. What do you mean by that?
It's got a ton of excitement and hype. It's scaling really quickly. Everyone's doing it. Not quite sure of the long-term viability of it.
Not sure if it really accomplishes anything. But
Other
cool.
than it's got 1 million users in a day or whatever.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. I ran out of uses for ChatGPT very quickly.
I did it one time and I was like, well, that was fun. Never doing that again.
Yeah, I think
I refuse to do it because no robot is taking over my mind. Thank you.
ooh, nice. Christina refuses on principle. I think I think the most common use case right now is people trying to hack it and get it to do things that it's not supposed to do.
And then take screenshots.
What's that?
And then take screenshots.
Yeah, and then take screenshots and expose everything.
Did you
as a giant?
listen to the Bill Simmons episode with Derek Thompson?
I did not.
I
did not. I need
They
to.
talked about it a little bit. They talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I need to check that out. Okay. David Marino listened for about 5 minutes, and then I see he just went and started a room on Clubhouse.
He's like talking shit about us about how we don't know anything about pickleball.
He was able to stay in the audience for like 5 minutes, and he's like, need to hear my voice now.
He's got a short attention span. Very short.
Marino's great. Marino is one of the jewels of Clubhouse, if I may. All right.
Like the vaping mechanism, Jewel.
No, like a gem.
Like he's small and shiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And worth a lot of money.
And worth a lot of money. Okay. All right. Grail Card Quest asks, if a perfectly centered card is out of the question, then what's your order of preference on centering? Or to put it another way, what scenario is least bothersome? What do you think he's asking with this?
Well, I thought I was going to go like edges, corners,
Yeah.
but now I'm thinking it's talking about like what sort of imperfection within the centering he was most acceptable.
That's probably it. That's probably it right
Like
there.
top to bottom, left to right.
Or like the back of the card, you know,
Yeah.
like some of the back centering.
Dude, centering imperfections are very annoying.
I always get way more bothered by the left to right for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like top to bottom, it bothers me, but not even like a tenth of how much the left to right bothers me.
Okay. Interesting. If the option is to just have the back centering just terrible, I'll take that, obviously. Otherwise, bad centering is just, it's tough. It's tough to deal with.
What about like a horizontal card where the left to right isn't as good, and then you can just turn it and be happy because the top to bottom is better.
Like a hack? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's what we'll go with. All right. Andrew Kesey says if you could make one set into Chrome and you could make one set into paper, which would you do and why? And I think he's asking us to switch. Right. So, I don't know about this one. I mean, they already made contenders into Chrome because they made something called optic contenders.
I was going to say, it'd be cool if contenders was Chrome. Oh, wait, they have that.
Yeah, I mean, they have everything. Like, why
What if National Treasures is Chrome? It's like a RPA Chrome. Oh, that's Select.
Yeah. Select has it. Spectra has, like, thick RPAs with a Chrome finish. Like, everything's already been done. I don't know.
I will say stay away from my Noir and my Court Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like those being paper.
That was my reaction to this question, too. Actually, no. Stay away.
Yeah.
Don't change a damn thing. I'm not changing anything from Chrome or from paper. That was my reaction to this as well, Andrew.
Imagine if you changed Chrome itself to paper. Then it's not called Chrome anymore.
Wow, okay. We are going there. I don't know. This was a very provocative question, Andrew. It made me feel ways I didn't want to feel. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just opting out of this question. I get a 0 on this one. Do you have any?
No, no, don't make me come back to this one.
Okay, all right. Frozen Infernal Collectibles asks, if a player is pictured on a card in his All-Star jersey, or the card has a piece of All-Star memorabilia in it, would you value it more or less than a card of that player but in his regular NBA uniform?
I'm thinking of the 2009 number pieces, Michael Jordan, where they used his All-Star jersey. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
That card is really sick. I know people love it because it's got the green. I think it's from the Phoenix All-Star game. It's got like the green and orange patches on it. Very cool. It kind of depends contextually. And also, a lot of the All-Star jerseys are like their regular jerseys.
True and true. The All-Star cards are very cool, but they're only cool if they're super rare and they're not like the majority of the type of card. Like if 90% of cards are regular jersey and 10% are All-Star, then I can get behind the All-Star and say, yeah, like those are cool. But the thing is, I don't really like All-Star games that much. There have been a few really cool ones, but I just don't. All-Star feels one-off-ish to me. It feels disconnected from the actual season and the meaningful legacy-related stuff that happens in regular seasons and playoffs. So I think All-Star stuff is really cool, but only when it's in relation to a plethora of normal stuff.
I think it should be an insert, and it should be like a case hit. so that it's super short printed, like, and it should only be like the actual All-Stars. It shouldn't be anyone who, and it should be pictures of them at the All-Star game and or with those jerseys as the memorabilia. It should not be like a regular game and All-Star memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
Be consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, Dennis in the chat says that MJ is from the San Antonio All-Star game, so he's right. I'm wrong. That one just stands out to me as a rare one. That's really cool.
Yeah. The cool thing about the All-Star stuff too is like you can tell a cool story about a card from the fact that you can pinpoint exactly what jersey it comes from, and then it would come from the All-Star game. Yeah, so he says that 97-98 game jersey is All-Star game. That's one of the more important Michael Jordan 90s cards is the game jersey 97
Especially
card, which is
when you get some of that color on it.
yeah. Well, yeah, when you get the color on it, like let me pull up a picture of it because I was actually just looking this up today. 4 of Michael Jordan's 5 highest selling cards are in fact the game jersey autograph out of 23.
With color.
With color. So
It's got like that 90s like silver look to it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there's some like red on that one. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That's a card that was a little bit ahead of its time.
That jersey that he's wearing in that picture is so 90s.
Yeah. It's got that color scheme to it.
It looks like the NBA Jam logo.
Yeah. Just looks so 90s.
Yeah. That whole card is very 90s. So, okay. Very cool all-star card. All right. We've got about 10 minutes to go. Time to start getting judicious with the remaining question selections because we're probably not going to get all this. So here, okay, this is a more important question I saved for the end. First card stallion. This was kind of like a big issue on Clubhouse this week.
Ooh.
If you had to live in a restaurant for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Now, do you go down the path of thinking of somewhere like kind of spacious? You know, like a.
You got to consider it all.
Or do you just go for your favorite food? You also got to worry about. I'd be worried about a pizza place because I don't really want to be smelling garlic for the rest of my life.
Well, here's the
Like
thing.
you almost want to think of like a lower smelling place.
True. That's a really good point that I haven't heard yet. You got to think about like you could have food delivered to you. You know, just because you're living in one restaurant doesn't mean you have to eat there the whole time.
Okay.
You could have food coming. So I might be inclined to pick a place that has like a castle and a ball pit.
What's that place? It's like that. It's like a gas station in Texas, like Buxby's or what's that called?
Oh yeah, Buc-ee's, yeah.
Or Buc-ee's, yeah. Yeah, isn't that like? Aren't those huge?
Yeah, they are.
I'm inclined for the place with the entertainment. So
Chuck E. Cheese.
I was thinking Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, that's like the cheap code answer.
Yeah, but what if you want to sleep and there's arcades going off all the time?
Fair. Shout out Roger Go to Hell in the chat. Blowout legend from who made the Luca blowout thread back in the day. He says Olive Garden. I could live on their salad and breadsticks.
Doesn't Buc-ee's have like showers and stuff? I feel like I win.
Oh, that's key. Does yours have showers, or are you not worried about showering? She's not worried. Which one is it? No, they don't have showers.
I don't think they have. I would imagine they do not have showers.
But you could bathe out of the sink.
I'm almost like not wanting to pick my favorite restaurants because, like you said, it's not like I'm going to be forced to be only eating that food, and it kind of takes away from the allure of it being my favorite restaurant if I'm just living there.
Where would you sleep at Buc-ee's though? They're open like 24 hours.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It's like always people coming and bothering me. I need gas, motherfucker.
And like, think about like truckers who've been on the road for like 5 days using the showers that you're using.
Yeah.
Those bathrooms are disgusting.
What did Clubhouse say?
Olive Garden was a popular answer.
What was that, Chuck E. Cheese?
Bill, do you remember, Bill? I don't know. There was
Stip said Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
He had the same answer.
They have like big booths where you could sleep at Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. I can sleep through noise, so that's really not an issue for me.
Oh my god, I can. It's so annoying.
All right. Sports Card Stallion with like a parallel question says, if you had to live in a local card shop for the rest of your life, which card shop would it be?
Well, you could have gotten free points by saying that Christina's Kitchen is your favorite restaurant. You just get to live where you live now.
What's the name of my kitchen restaurant?
Isn't it Christopher?
Elliot's.
Yeah.
Cristoforo's. Italian food for me.
All right, what was the second one? Favorite what? Or
LCS.
LCS? You guys do this one. I haven't been to enough.
Well, shout out. We'll give a shout out to Bullpen, LA.
I can't live there though because
There's a cat. Yeah, the cat does make it difficult. We'll give a shout out to Bleecker in New York.
Oh god, but then I have to be in fucking New York City.
But
Bleecker has the one side the shop and the other side the sleeping.
correct. And there's an apartment upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bleecker.
Bleecker. And then
Bleecker is awesome, but I can't do New York.
I haven't been to Hobby Stadium, but sounds pretty good.
David Adams
Just
is pretty awesome.
Just constantly surrounded by grails.
Isn't
They have
David Adams like huge? Like a huge place?
yeah. David Adams
I don't
is
know
like a
about-
warehouse.
He's talking to me, not you.
Oh.
Wait, who are you talking to? Are you asking about Hobby Stadium?
I prefer not to talk to people that I can't. I don't direct things at people that I can't see their eyeballs.
Oh my god.
Look, I'm with you. Oh, we got her to come on. Oh, my goodness.
Oh gosh. I hope you got that screen grab,
It's
Nick.
going to be the screen grab for sure. With that adorable zit right here.
Yep. Its name is Christopher.
Christophus.
Yeah, and then Hobby Stadium. But I don't think it's huge. I don't think it's like a giant shop or anything, but
That's how long we've been doing the show, Chris. People are asking us questions about what restaurant we want to live in.
this has become a foodie variety show.
Get some more pizza food questions. I saw another pizza one. Do that one.
Okay, well, this one comes in from Mohammed, a.k.a. Kobe81, 23, 1996, 13. How much money would you need to never eat pizza again?
What was my answer?
Infinity.
Not doing it.
Oh, what?
I'm just not doing it. Infinity. So it's not possible. Therefore, not happening.
Oh, my goodness. That can't be.
Oh, it's true. I'd rather eat pizza than have infinity money.
Dude, I had like a stomach bug maybe a month ago that prevented me from eating anything but like a few crackers and like applesauce and stuff for like maybe a week.
That was the worst week of your life.
Dude, all I could think about was like, dude, if I never get to eat pizza again, this is so bad. You know, I was having these real existential thoughts. Yeah, yes. It was getting to that point. It was just like, if I can't enjoy food, what are we eating? Why am I here?
Well, what's your answer? Like $10?
Yeah, $100. I don't know. Like, I'll think about it in card terms. Like, man, a PMG Green? I'd trade that for pizza. Yep, I'd do it.
PMG Green Sean Bradley?
No. It would have to be a PMG Green MJ.
Okay. But you would do that
For a PMG Green MJ, I would forego pizza.
for the rest of your life. No more Elliots.
It wouldn't like very easy. It wouldn't be hard.
Okay, well, just show off some more then. No, what's your number? What's your amount? What's the amount
The
that you take?
MJPMG green.
Oh.
I was agreeing to that.
What about, is there anything lower?
The Maxi got the green.
The Maxi Fast Break Green on 5.
The black 18 Prism.
Yep, I could probably do that too.
Like, there's no problem for like those two cards. It's
Bill, look what Bill said. I'd stop eating pizza if every LeBron fan admitted MJ's the guy.
Bill. Okay, so you got the Luka Prism Black. What about a Luka National Treasures Emerald out of 5 RPA?
God, you guys are crazy. Pizza's like the best food ever. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I would do it.
You would do it? Because here's the thing. You can get something approximating your pizza fix through other foods.
No cheating. You can't eat like some I've seen these ads that come in like, this pizza crust is made of chicken, and I'm like, what? That's not even.
I'll have 3 piles in front of me: a pile of cheese, some bread, and some sauce, and I'll
You can
just
eat garlic bread and dip it in sauce. You can eat a calzone. Like, come on.
that's what I was getting. As like chicken parm almost scratches.
That
the
would
same.
make it worse. That would just remind me of the pain I'm going through. Like, oh great, I'm eating almost the same thing.
Would it be like
It's like,
your calzone?
have you had the like Impossible Burger, like the Impossible Meat stuff?
No.
Eating that is just like, yeah, I just want the real thing. This reminds me of that. Thank you.
It's accurately named. All right. Well, we may not have solved world peace tonight, but we answered some important questions. We got to the bottom, and we have a ton of fucking questions that we didn't get to. All right. Well, we should put them in the back burner for next week potentially. Oh, we need a name. We need an episode title.
Get 'em off.
No idea what eggs cost. Isn't the Mona Lisa just some woman that got painted? It's long, but I'm not mad at that one at all.
Christina needs the caption.
Drake raked across the coals.
People would just click on that, just being like, what in the world? Raked? With a K? Is that?
Yeah, Drake raked across the
Okay, just making sure we get the spelling on that right.
All right. Nobody is above the hobby. The hobby is broken. Sacrificial lamb. That's about it. Yep, that's about it. Which way are you leaning?
Sacrificial lamb or Drake raked across the coals. You're just like thinking about the implications of us actually naming it the Drake one, and like Nick having to type that out and it being on YouTube and
That's just
our bosses saying.
Yeah, the Drake one is just like, it's just a little too clickbaity for me. Even though we didn't do it with the intentions of making clickbait, it comes across as a little too.
The hobby is broken. The hobby is broken is pretty clickbaity.
Yep, it's very, and it's like, it's not accurately representing the tenor of this show.
Yeah. Sacrificial lamb, going back to the Pac Nicholson streak.
Dude, Pac Nicholson is about to go 4 for 4. And I think he deserves it. Sacrificial lamb.
We don't want to be Mike Breen and be like, he's never missed a free throw ever, and he walks up and misses a free throw. That's not what you want.
No, we don't. But yeah, I think he found a way to do it.
Is there like a sheep? You can use like a sheep emoji?
Of course, that was a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
Sheep emoji is is definite. I guess the only question is, do I do sacrificial sheep emoji or do I do sacrificial lamb sheep emoji?
You use sacrificial lamb, and then you get the little like squirt gun, and then you put the sheep next to it, so the gun is killing the sheep.
That's good.
All
Yeah,
right,
do that.
that's what it'll be.
Because that also ties into the influencer sheep stuff we talked about.
Yes. Dude, yeah, okay. Multiple means to it. All right. Way to go, team. Good show. See you guys next week.
We're reaching the top.
A lot has changed since Card Ladder began. We started with 500 cards in our database, and now we have over 3 million cards and over 30 million sales.
For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
With Card Ladder's sales history feature, we have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history, and you can add a card to your collection with just one click.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Plus, every card, no matter the last time it sold, has an estimated value that we calculated using our state-of-the-art player indexes. Unlike other apps, when you see Card Ladder's verified checkmark, that means a researcher personally vetted each and every sale.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
We know what you want, because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors.
Know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder 2.0, constantly innovating. Try it for free. See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Card Ladder 2.0.